Hello folks, I'm Alex, this is Alex Unabridged, and today I'm doing the MEMENTO MORI tag. So welcome back to the channel if that is the case. Yes, Tag Tuesday. So it's the MEMENTO MORI tag, which means, I believe, remember you must die. So a happy little tag for today. This tag was created by Polyglot Reading, and I was tagged by Mr. Troy Tradup. I will link to both videos and channels in the description as always. So let's crack straight on with these prompts then. So prompt number one then, how many books will you be able to read before you die, considering your age and statistical life expectancy? Okay, so I did a bit of research on the Office of National Statistics website and another couple of websites. And I'm statistically likely to live until I'm 84 years old, which is 42 years from now. So that, like, holy shit, that's like a whole other 42. I'm 42 now. So that's my whole lifetime so far again. Crikey. That's quite a long time. So in terms of how many books then I'm likely to be able to read before I hit that number, if I'm lucky enough to last that long, well, the last couple of years I think have been a bit of an anomaly because I've just found the love of books again, so I've gone a bit nuts and I've read, kind of 100 plus books each year, or close to. I doubt very much I'm going to be able to keep that up year on year as I get older. In fact, I'm already kind of trying to reduce that number a bit. So I reckon if I go for sort of 40 to 50 books per year, I think that's a fair bet of what I'd be able to get through. So that will bring us to a number somewhere between 1,600 and 2,100 books left for me to be able to read. Which is lots. It's a good number to be working with. So prompt number two then is, how does this number affect your choice of books? It doesn't affect it at all, I have to say. I will get through whatever I get through. I'm just going to read what I want when I want to in the moment. I think that's what I'm learning, is that I need to, there's some stuff that I want to plan for, in the kind of the immediate year ahead, but then also I'm just going to read whatever takes my fancy at the time. I'm fully aware that I will never get to read everything that I would like to read, because I already have a kind of, a pile of shame / wish list, which is ridiculously long. And as we move forward, new books are going to come out, or I'm going to hear about books that have been published for years that I might want to try. So I'm quite happily just having this massively long wish list and, a bookshelf kind of not over full, but full of plenty of stuff that I know I want to read, that I can just dip into, and I'll get through what I get through. I'm just going to enjoy what I read moment to moment, and I'm not going to worry about it, to be honest. So it doesn't affect it. It doesn't affect the choice at all. I don't have any like white whales or anything like that of books that I really need to get to or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep trucking on as I am, really. Okay, prompt number three then is, what will happen to your book collection once you've passed away? It'll be donated. It'll be donated to libraries, local libraries, if they still exist in this country by the time I'm 84. And if whatever libraries don't want, or if there aren't any libraries, charity shops. I love a good charity bookshop, particularly. We've got a great Oxfam bookshop in my local town, and I love going in there, and I donate books to them already, reasonably regularly, books that I've finished. So So yeah, they'll be donated so other people can get some joy out of them once I'm gone. Okay then, prompt number 4. Is there a book that helps you cope with the disturbing fact of a limited lifespan? First of all, it's not a disturbing fact to me. It's just a fact. It's the one thing that we all have in common. We're all going to cark it someday. It's just a fact of life. Death is a fact of life. So it's not disturbing to me. In fact, it's kind of almost the opposite in some respects. It's kind of like, well, I know it's going to happen, so that's just impetus to live the best life that I can. But in terms of that kind of limited lifespan and a book, I think something that, you know, has kind of got me to this point where I feel like this. One that comes to mind is actually Mountains of the Mind by Robert Macfarlane, because he introduced me to this idea of deep time, this idea of, you know, kind of expanses of time that go, you know, so far beyond what we can actually comprehend. And, you know, also he talks about, you know, kind of just the you know, the kind of the scale of things as well. And it's something that I always keep in mind when I go out hiking, because that's something that I always enjoy thinking about, and sort of part of my kind of connection to the landscape is when I'm out there and I can see kind of, you know, the landscape and how it's been formed over millennia and, you know, that kind of thing. It's that realization and acknowledgement that kind of makes you a little bit giddy, or it makes me a little bit giddy, of just realizing how insignificant I am. And not in a bad way, but just what a tiny speck I am in the grand scale of things, whether that's in terms of physical size, you know, in terms of within the world, but largely my lifespan is it's a blip, it's a tiny little blip in this huge expanse of time. Even in terms of, you know, just human existence, let alone what's come before and what will come after. So yeah, that just kind of, I think that keeps me grounded. It's like, well, you know, I am just a blip, but it's my little blip of time, and I will do with it as much as I can, basically. Okay, prompt number 5. Which book on this topic do you consider the most witty or entertaining one? I don't know about, like, on that particular topic. I suppose, yeah, limited lifespan and sort of packing it in, I guess. You know, packing in as much as you can, having a full life. Certainly witty as well, and celebratory is one that I've literally just read in the last month, and that is Wise Children by Angela Carter. That was written in 1991 and was the last book that Carter wrote before she died. And it is a celebration of a full life, a life not without troubles, not without tragedy, but it is a just all out joyous celebration of life, love, sex, death, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's brilliant, and it's definitely one of the most entertaining ones, and one of the most kind of life affirming ones, definitely. Okay, prompt number 6. Do you have a specific non-fiction book on the topic of death that you'd like to recommend? No, I don't. I've never read anything on death or grief or anything like that. I don't think I would ever turn to books for that, for anything to do with that. In fact, books for me, I would go the opposite way. I'll go for something that is fiction and it is an escape, essentially, or is something about, you know, life, celebration of life. It's just not what books are for me, generally. But I think, you know, certainly in terms of like my own thoughts on death, just generally the existentialists. I've read some of the kind of the original philosophies by some of the existential philosophers. They have some interesting stuff to say, interesting ways of thinking on the matter. and philosophers in general, not just the existentialists. I think, you know, pick up anything from any philosopher and you'll find something in there about life and death and existence. So that's the sort of stuff that I'd read generally. Okay, prompt number 7. Humour can be helpful to confront death. Do you have a favourite witty quote on this topic? No, again, I don't. I do agree, though, that humour can be extremely helpful, and I think that would be my kind of approach as well. I do have quite a dark sense of humour, and that I think that probably will come in handy in times of, you know, where I need to kind of think about, certainly like my own death. That's kind of, you know, where my humour, I think, probably will be useful to me. Might not be useful to other people, I don't know, but it certainly be useful to me. And prompt number 8 then, the final prompt is, does this tag make you feel uneasy, or are you quite relaxed about this topic? I'm pretty relaxed about it, to be honest. Certainly about my own demise, my own eventual death. It's, as I say, it's going to happen. Just don't know when. Wouldn't want to know when. And I am very much of the opinion of, you know, I'm just going to do as much as I can in the time that I have. That's all any of us can do. Live as full a life as possible. To be honest, I didn't expect to be here at one point. When I was in my 20s, I really didn't think that I was going to see 30. It was a very, very difficult, certainly first half of that decade of my life. And, you know, I made decisions that meant that I could continue and that I could live, that I could, you know, have a full life. And that changes your perspective, I think, on life and death, when you really don't think that you're going to live that long, you're going to be here. And then you are, and you find that you can have a full life. And I think that's, you know, that definitely has made me very much more relaxed about things, and just, as I say, like, determined to, like, get every little bit out of this life, every little, you know, morsel out of the time that I have on this planet. So yeah, as I say, death is inevitable, but what matters is life, and I prefer to focus on that. So yes, so no, pretty relaxed about this. So that is the end of the prompts. Obviously, I think there is a prompt to tag some folks. I won't tag some folks in this. I'm not sure who's done it and who might want to do it. So I will do that great cop-out of saying, you know, I tag any of you who want to do it. You are all tagged. So if you fancy chatting about this, then jump on board. So that'll do from me today, folks. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Do drop your thoughts, etc. in the comments below. I'll be back on Friday to chat about Strangers in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein, as part of my science fiction for the Somewhat Hesitant series. So I hope you will join me for that then. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.